to the regional game, and you've been getting in touch in your numbers this morning to share with us your thoughts on what's wrong with the regional game. Not many solutions around, Mike, but that's down to the Welsh Rugby Union, who looks like they're set to announce the most radical upheaval since the game went regional in 2003.
Yeah, the plans have been dubbed Project Reset. They've been moved back a year. They'll probably take place in the 2020-2021 season. Broadly, it means a new region being created in the north of Wales, which would potentially see the number of regions in the south of Wales reduced from 4 to 3. Now, if you're going to do that, it means either the Blues, the Ospreys, the Scarlets or the Dragons could be disbanded, or alternatively, you could put two of them together.
What do you make of that? 8, 10, 12 to text us. We're going to hold a fans forum now, Leather fans forum, not just for the alliteration. David Allen in Cardiff is the chair of the CF10 Arms Park Rugby Trust. Nigel Jones joins us as well, chair of the Ospreys Supporters Club. Nigel's in Swansea, where you'd imagine to find him. And Russell Everett in Bangor, the chairman of the Rugby Gogledd Cymru Supporters Club. So hello to all of you.
Morning.
Good morning. Truly nationwide at this point. What do you think is in the wind, David, as a Cardiff supporter?
It's very difficult to tell, isn't it? We're all depending on kind of rumour and speculation at the moment, and I think one of the problems here is the just general lack of communication that we've had around the whole project. But I guess on the basis of what we think is out there, it's quite difficult from a fan point of view to see how it's going to work. As you already alluded, I think if we're going to have a region in North Wales, I think that's potentially quite risky, given that there's no history of regional rugby there. And if we're going to have to lose one of the existing regions that poses major issues. I mean, the speculation is around the Ospreys. You know, why would we lose the actual, probably the best performing?
Well, the only one that looks like a region.
Well,
he said.
Well, let's deal with that now. Let's deal with the Ospreys straight away, Nigel, because I thought what I was hearing over the weekend was that the Ospreys had been reassured everything was going to be okay.
Well, I think the important point there, and David alluded to it, was that the Ospreys are okay for the 2019-2020 season. Obviously, it's going to be another 12 months of uncertainty, speculation and rumour. And I think it's awfully unfair on all the regions to try and build for next season knowing that we're going to go through this performance again at the end.
Russell, how certain are you that you're going to land a region in the north?
Well, if it happens, it would be brilliant. It would be the culmination of probably a 10-year dream since RGC has been formed as a development region. But you know, it's probably more news to us than potentially some of the other regions, because I stand to be corrected, but I don't think we'd actually had any representation within the room with these discussions taking place. So I suppose I should take heart from the fact that the WRU are recognising what we are achieving in RGC and want to take that next step. So if it happens, it's great, but we've got a season to finish off so that we don't get relegated, and I'm sure that's the focus of the squad and the coaches and the management team, and certainly the supporters.
Yeah, you heard David say it's a risky venture taking a region to North Wales. Do you think it is, Russell?
Well, it's easy to say that when it's not been tried. I mean, I think, as I say, since 2008 we've operated as a development region. We've developed talent that has benefited both the regions and the national side, both the men's and women's sides. And you know, we've been slowly putting all the building blocks in place, because this is not just about the RG senior team. This is about an RGC women's team that's already been recognised by the WRU as a region. It's about a strong age grade setup from under 18s down, 16s, 14s and mini rugby. And it's about a strong community capability as well. So you put that all together, then the obviously next step, you've made all that investment over 10 years. Surely you want to, see the return on that investment and give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting case, but I think you could also argue that there seems to be an assumption at the moment that perhaps on the part of the Welsh Rugby Union, that whatever you put out there, fans are going to support. So if there's a reconfigured arrangement in South Wales, be it through mergers or through, losing a team and maybe having, East and West Wales teams rather than traditional teams, that fans who currently pay the money to go and watch will still do so. So whereas there's an opportunity to develop in North Wales, I think there's also a risk of actually losing a lot of people who currently support the regional game and help keep that regional game going in South Wales. So it's a very complex equation, I think.
I'd like Nigel's view on that, because obviously at the Blues, you were unable to inherit a sense of identity from Cardiff to the Blues, and I know you went away to the Cardiff City Stadium for a bit, but you're back in your traditional home, and Cardiff and the Blues doesn't feel that hugely different. But a new region, a new side was created with the Ospreys, Nigel, and there's been 15 years of work to try to get people behind it. What's the level of risk of tweaking it again?
Well, the Welsh Rugby Union, I've been involved in rugby for a long time, and I think it's just been time after time where the Welsh Rugby Union tweak, change, alter. The stability is not a word that goes well with the Welsh Rugby Union. I think part of the problem is that I think it's safe to say that Osprey supporters would not support a merged team. So you could say that there'd be 5,000 or 6,000 supporters lost to the game.
Right.
Moving to North Wales, I presume the games would be played at Parc Arias. I think that capacity is 6,000. For the Derby games this season, the average crowds have been over 9,000.
Yeah,
so
but
you're going to lose 3,000 supporters there.
I want to take the North Wales thing out of the equation for a minute and just finish by asking you both, Nigel and David, as those who already have an interest in this and already have a place at the table. Is the status quo doing the job? And if not, what do you change? If it's not on your own doorstep, is the status quo okay, David?
It clearly isn't, and I think success in any professional sport is determined by money at the end of the day.
So what would you do then if it's not? If you don't want the status quo, but you don't want to lose anything in Cardiff, what do you do?
I think looking at the idea of maybe having differential levels of funding between the regions is a possibility, but personally I would build on the existing strengths and support rather than take the risk of actually chasing a crowd which may or may not be there.
Nigel?
Yes, I agree. I think devaluing any of the regions would be a big mistake, and I think that would affect support.
That's the status quo, Nigel.
Sorry?
That's the status quo then, isn't it?
Well, I think there are things that we looked at, possibly with finance, in that the problem the regions have, of course, is the amount of players they lose to the internationals continually in the autumn and Six Nations. I think it needs to be looked at about release of players. We seem never to have players released back into the regions, where the other clubs in the Pro 14 regularly do have players released back.
Okay.
It's very difficult playing with one hand tied behind your back, and I'm sure there'd be a way around it, but I honestly think to lose a club or a region, an established and proven region like the Ospreys, to risk a region in North Wales is absolute lunacy.
Thank you all very much. David Allen in Cardiff, Nigel Jones in Swansea, Russell Everett in Bangor this morning. Still time to get in touch on that. 8, 10, 12.